Electronic invoicing or e-invoicing is becoming gradually more popular around the globe as it has grown rapidly in the last few years. Currently, many countries around the world have already introduced e-invoicing regulations and system, and the remaining are working to introduce the e-invoicing system. Also, many governments aims to close the tax compliance gap by introducing a mandatory electronic invoicing project. And here we would have different rules and different e-invoicing standards depending on the government of each and every jurisdiction, which entitle the governments to easily validate each and every invoice. So, what exactly is the meaning of e-invoicing? And why are so many governments are currently implementing it? Also, what would be the impact on your business? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. Hello everyone and welcome to the TaxGate. Hit the subscribe button and let's get started. Let's start with the e-invoicing definition. Well, the electronic invoicing or e-invoicing, it is the electronic exchange of invoice data between the supplier and the buyer in a structured or a standardized format. So, the invoice is issued, processed, received, and stored electronically using structured document where the entire cycle is completed online, so it is a digitalized approach to the entire invoicing process. Good. So, how e-invoicing would impact your business? Let's understand together. At the beginning we would highlight that in certain countries, you might find yourself is not able to do business if your business doesn't have the ability to issue and receive electronic invoices, being a legal requirement in that country. Well, so aside from the legal aspect, we would highlight that beside the efficiency, accuracy and time saving, we would mainly focus on the tax aspect. E-invoicing would have a huge impact on the accuracy of the tax compliance process, as the business would be already following a standardized data structure as specified by the rules and regulations of the country. Also, such would facilitate the tax audit process with the tax authorities, as both sales and purchase invoices would be easily traceable and accessible by the tax authorities. And here it would be much easier for the tax authorities to automate the tax audits of the taxpayers' data, finding the space to focus mainly on the variances within the system and automatically act against them. Well, so that was briefly the impact on the business, and let's understand how does e-invoicing work from the system perspective. And here let's differentiate between the following: the outbound process or customer invoicing and the inbound process or supplier invoicing. Well, so for the outbound process, here it starts by generating the invoice as a first step, where the e-invoice is created within the ERP system to be sent to the customer against the provided goods or services. And then once the invoice is created, then it is transmitted through an operator to be sent to the customer, being structured in a specific format. And here, just right before its delivery to the customer, automated validation is done to ensure that it is compliant with the needed rules and standards. And finally, once the invoice is automatically validated, then it is dispatched to the customer. Good. Now let's move to the inbound process, which starts by receiving the electronic invoice from a supplier, and then, like the outbound process, the invoice is automatically validated, being related to the business, and then finally once the invoice is automatically validated, then it is recorded within the company's books accordingly. Great. With this, now we can move to the types of e-invoicing from a business perspective, and here we would differentiate between the following. First, we have B2B or business-to-business e-invoicing, which is a digital exchange of invoices between businesses, so sellers send electronic invoices to other businesses against the provided goods or services. Also, we have B2C or business-to-consumer e-invoicing, which refers to the electronic invoicing between businesses and individuals, so businesses send electronic invoices to customers against direct purchases of goods and services. And finally, we would also have B2G or business-to-government e-invoicing, which is referring to the electronic invoicing between businesses and governmental entities. And here businesses send electronic invoices to governmental agencies against goods and services which would adhere to specific governmental standards and compliance requirements. Well, so that was for the types of e-invoices from a business perspective, and now let's cover once again the types of e-invoices, however, this time from a document perspective. And here we would categorize the invoice according to their business use, and such would mainly include the following. Sales invoices, which is the most common type of invoice that is normally created to request payment when it sells goods or services to a customer. Also, we would have the credit memos, which would be electronically issued by the business when, for instance, it needs to provide a discount or collect a refund. And finally, we would have also a debit memos, which would be issued, for instance, against the price increases and to indicate that the business needs to increase the amount billed to the customer. Well, that was a high-level explanation for one of the most common tax topics recently. Like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos, and thanks for watching TaxGate.